What does it mean to have your moon in the sign of Cancer and in the 10th house in your chart? Find out now by watching today's video. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we're talking about what it means to have your moon in Cancer and in the 10th house in your chart, because already knowing your moon sign is so impactful in and of itself, but it's only half the story, because the sign your moon is in is what you need for emotional fulfillment and what your patterns emotionally tend to be, but the house tells you where those patterns may show up and how you get this need met. So in today's video specifically, I'm going to cover the moon in Cancer, the moon in 10th house, the moon in 10th house and in Cancer, and how this moon in Cancer in 10th house will show up in love, career, finances, and more. And to wrap up today's video, we'll talk a bit about self-care recommendations, or so to say, practical advice for my Cancer moons in the 10th house, how you guys can find your optimal fulfillment using this astrology information to your benefit in simplified ways. So if you're looking for practical guidance, watch through to the end of this video. And if you like today's video, stay tuned to the end where I'll talk more about my offerings. Without further ado, let's get into what the Cancer moon in 10th house is all about, starting off first with what is a moon in Cancer? Moon in Cancer is what I like to call the sensitive sweetheart. Moon naturally rules over the Cancer archetype. And so when the moon is in Cancer, this is a strong, accentuated placement. Moon in Cancer is a gentle, sensitive person who tends to feel their emotions very strongly, whether that's high emotional highs or low emotional lows. These people feel feelings deeply. On top of it, they have a deep innate desire to nurture. This is because Cancer is the motherly archetype. And so those who have a moon in Cancer, you will find that the more safe and secure they feel around you, the more of a nurturing role they want to play. And additionally, the more emotional they can seem to be. As the moon in Cancer opens up, they are like a hermit crab coming out of their hermit shell, and they open up their feelings to the world. These are the kind of people who wear their heart on their sleeve and have all the care and consideration to give to everyone. With that, in case I have not accentuated it enough, the moon in Cancer does tend to be a very sensitive individual, and they do have the tendency to get their feelings hurt. Not only does the moon in Cancer desire to nurture others, but they desire to receive nurturance in return. These are people who want to be treated with the same level of care, support, encouragement, appreciation, and nurturance, being taken care of as much as they give it to other people. So there's a bit of a caregiver energy that can oftentimes present itself with being a moon in Cancer. But again, there's not only the aspect that I want to accentuate, one of the key components of the moon in Cancer being this nurturing nature, but there's also this equal part of being very emotionally in tune themselves. Because the moon in Cancer is so in tune with their emotions, they kind of move through life on the basis of I just want to feel good. They have a bit of a toddler approach to emotions, and that is because Cancer is the first water sign, which is all about emotions. So these people tend to handle their emotions in a very childlike way. This doesn't mean they're emotionally immature. It just means that they feel what they feel and they want to be able to process what they feel. This is why I think for many moon in Cancers, the theme of emotional security is so prominent to them in all aspects of life. They want to feel that they're emotionally safe to be the childlike emotional being that they are in their relationships, career, and so much more, because they feel emotions in such a primal way. Those who have their moon in the 10th house of career and profession are emotionally fulfilled in their career. The moon in 10th house indicates that their emotional fulfillment in life mainly comes through their career, through having a profession. These people aren't satisfied by living just a simple life or having a simple job. These people need to feel that they have authority and that they're doing what they're absolutely best at. So simply put, a moon in 10th house needs to feel that they have a profession and a career path, or else they find themselves feeling lacking in fulfillment. On top of that, I would add as a subtle final note to this interpretation, I've met so many moon in 10th houses who have found that they are more fulfilled by maintaining a career rather than going through stereotypical retirement. So what does it mean to have your moon in Cancer and in the 10th house? The moon in Cancer in 10th house, again, as we've already covered, has two major components, as we covered in the moon in Cancer segment specifically, nurturance and feeling feelings. And so these are the two key desires that a moon in Cancer in 10th house has in their career. Though they are stereotypically seeking that nurturance and fulfillment and want to nurture in return in their relationships, for example, the moon in 10th house in Cancer ends up embracing this in their profession when it's in the 10th house. So the moon in Cancer in 10th house seeks to be emotionally fulfilled by being nurtured and nurturing in their profession. They have a natural talent for making people feel emotionally supported and accepted for whatever they feel. The moon in Cancer in 10th house naturally has a coach, therapist, caregiver energy to it. And so they want to be able to nurture others in their profession, not only to fulfill those people, but this brings them a deep sense of fulfillment. So they can naturally take on more caretaking roles and be drawn to career paths where they want to be nurturers. The moon in 10th house in Cancer also finds a sense of authority through being a caregiver. And this is where we get to touch on actually an aspect of the Cancer archetype that is often forgotten, which is Cancer is a cardinal sign, which is an initiator, a leader. And so there can be this very assertive energy with Cancerian energy, though it's stereotyped as very passive. The Cancer moon in the 10th house wants to initiate leadership through caregiving and through following their emotions. So not only does the moon in Cancer in 10th house have a desire to nurture in their career, but they have a desire to be nurtured in their career. And these can be people who tend to go towards career paths or change career paths often based off their emotional tendencies or based off their emotional needs. These people probably just seem like overall they have a lot of emotion wrapped up in their career, or simply put, their career can trigger a lot of emotions for them. Because the moon in Cancer is generally a pretty sensitive person, the moon in Cancer may feel like they're very sensitive to the people they work around. If they receive harsh criticism or are around overall negative Nellies, they can really feel this in their career and it can be very frustrating to them. Moon in Cancer in 10th house can feel very vulnerable overall as they move through their profession and through life, because the moon in Cancer in 10th house deeply, innately craves to be an authority for their soft heart in a professional way and just in life in general. But the moon is naturally something that we hide behind closed doors because it's like our inner child. It's that softer part of ourselves that we don't show to others unless we feel safe around them. So whenever we have a moon in 10th house, there's a bit of this weird dynamic where there's something you crave to be seen for, yet also fear being vulnerable you feel vulnerable by embracing it. So the moon in Cancer in 10th house may feel a bit of a paradox because they want to be seen for their sensitive heart, yet also they may feel like that sensitive heart is going to be damaged if seen. So it can feel like there's a deep desire and also a deep fear associated. When it comes to love, the moon in Cancer in 10th house seeks to be an authority or recognized in their love life for their nurturing soul. Already a Cancer moon in and of itself in love cares about being nurtured and nurturing in return in love. They want to feel like there's an emotionally safe space, that they're allowed to be emotionally secure, emotionally vulnerable, emotionally expressive, and feeling that there's an innate sense of security. They want to know that they are being supported and encouraged no matter what, and that is what they offer in return. When this is in the 10th house though, the Cancer moon in 10th house may have a tendency to try to embrace the role of caregiver in the career or in the love life in order to attain that. Because naturally, when we have the moon in the 10th house, we crave recognition and authority. This person craves recognition and authority in the love life. So for one, the more their partner recognizes them for their nurturing and emotional nature, supports them for being able to embrace their feelings and being both a giver and a receiver, the better the moon in Cancer in 10th house is going to feel in love. But if they're not receiving that, what I think many moon in Cancers will do in 10th house is try to play the role of mother or father to get that level of security through authority and force the recognition. Oftentimes this can lead to many moon in Cancers feeling depleted because deep down, not only do they want to give, they want to receive in return. And it's hard to receive when you're putting yourself on an authority pedestal. So there's a fine balance to play here. The moon in Cancer in 10th house wants nurturance and wants to give. They want to be able to express whatever is coming up for them, and they want to be able to embrace their emotions in a childlike way, a simplistic way, better said. And they want to be recognized for this innate nature and honored for that. And they want to, therefore, when they receive recognition, that gives them a sense of empowerment, or in other words, authority. But they need to tread softly and make sure that this doesn't turn into a self-sabotaging nature of, so to say, parenting their partner to gain a sense of authority and forgetting that they're not feeling recognized even if they hold the power, so to say. And not only does this overgiving nature tend to play out in love life for a moon in Cancer in the 10th house, this can also play out in the career and finances. A moon in Cancer oftentimes tends to be an overgiver in hopes that they will eventually receive the nurturance in return. So it can commonly play out by default for many Cancer moons in the 10th house is self-sacrificing in the career. Whether that's giving too much time and energy to your boss or being too much of a listening ear to a coworker or a client, boundaries and can be overall hard for a moon in Cancer. And they can be oftentimes drawn to roles where they feel like they're overgiving because they believe that if they keep overgiving, they'll eventually receive the support. And this is why I feel like this example of the moon in Cancer in 10th house in particular is such a great reminder that Cancer moons and Cancer energy is not just about giving the nurturance and giving the emotional space, it's receiving. It's a circular motion. They want to give and receive. It may not be linear, but it is meant to be circular. So the Cancer moon, when it comes to the career, oftentimes we'll find that they probably get into a cycle of giving too much in the career, and then their emotional impulse tells them to change careers. I would love to hear down in the comments below, if you're a Cancer moon in the 10th house, do you have a tendency to change career paths often? Do you have a life experience of that? On the other hand, in the positive, the Cancer moon in 10th house is an extremely nurturing soul. They do best in roles where they're getting to be expressive emotionally, base their workload based off of how they're feeling that day, and playing roles of support for other people. With the moon in Cancer in 10th house, this means that you will gain success and you gain your best recognition when you are seen by your ability to emotionally express, connect, and nurture with another person. So being in a role like coaching, therapy, or some sort of emotionally supportive role can be greatly impactful for your financial success, and additionally will bring you the most emotional fulfillment. And on the financial note, just as we find based off of any moon sign, our moon sign really does dictate how we spend. And I want to do a whole video series talking about marketing to each moon sign, because in the end, we're all emotional spenders. That's the only reason we buy anything, is for an emotional result. So the Cancer moon in 10th house will tend to do two things: spend on their feelings and also spend for recognition for their nurturing nature. So this could be, in one example, they can spend on things that make them feel like they are supporting themselves, mainly is what I picture. And they may have a tendency to spend in emotional ways, just as any moon in water sign will do. If you listen to this and you're resonating and you're wondering, how can I align my life to being a Cancer moon in 10th house? Here's some practical tips or self-care advice for a moon in Cancer in the 10th house. First thing, as I mentioned earlier, is it is so important for you as a Cancer moon, speaking as a Cancer moon, to understand your innate need for both giving and receiving. How do you like to give, and how do you like to receive? And how can you receive more recognition for that? Not only does a Cancer moon need to understand what they like to give, but when it's in the 10th house specifically, you want recognition for this. And so it's important for you to find the fields where you are getting recognition. It's like giving to the wrong person, even if they need it, is going to cause more harm than good at times, because it's not going to be recognized for its value. It's like giving $100 to a monkey. The monkey's not going to do anything with it. Weird analogy, I know, but that's what came to mind. So Cancer moon in the 10th house, whether you are currently in a career where you get recognition for what you do or not, find somewhere, whether it's your career or not, to gain more recognition for what you're the best at giving. And if you don't know what that is, start with noticing how you make people feel, because Cancer moons have a gift for nurturing and creating emotional security for other people. So maybe your gift is your ability to create space. Maybe your gift is your emotional expression. Maybe it's something more creative instead of more caregiving. That is very possible as a Cancer moon. Water signs do have a lot to do with creativity, and so do fire signs. And so maybe yours is more creative, but think about what you want to be recognized for giving and go create a field to be seen for that. And this should be done from a place, of course, mentally, of not needing people to recognize you, but you're trying to improve your odds. And recognizing this yourself as you go through this process is extremely helpful. So for one example, maybe this is you starting a book club or a run club or some sort of therapy group for your friends of some kind. Maybe you just spend more time with your friend group because you feel like you get recognition there for who you are. This is the interesting dynamic again with the moon in 10th house, is that if you want recognition for your moon sign, but your moon sign feels vulnerable. So starting off with spending time with people who you feel safe around, who give you recognition, can be a great starting point. in the long run, a moon in Cancer in the 10th house needs to be in a career where they feel they get to be emotional, nurturing, and nurtured. So being in a business or a team who nurtures you emotionally, who makes space for everyone's emotions, going to be important for you. Working in a career where you get to nurture other people in return, going to be important for you. And that's something to consider in the long run. And as far as a small piece of advice I would give to any Cancer moon, regardless of what walk they are on, so to say, in their, or what chapter they are in their career, better said, is make time to emotionally feel your feelings and vent them out. Because if you are in more of a cold, harsh work environment, you have no idea how many feelings are bubbling up underneath the surface, spoken as or said as a Cancer moon. So making time to express, vent, and get those emotions out is going to be so important for you to maintain balance in your career. And also, to circle back around to the first point I made, how do you want to receive? Because not only do you want to give, you want to receive. So what is the best thing for you to receive? Is it appreciation? Is it encouragement? Is it acts of service? Knowing your love language is really important for you as a Cancer moon. So ask yourself how you want to give, how you want to receive, and where you can best be recognized for the things you're best at, as that is something every moon in 10th house needs and you need as a Cancer moon. That's all I have for you on the moon in Cancer in the 10th house. Let me know down in the comments below if this video resonated for you, and let me know what moon sign house combination you want to hear about next on the channel. There's 144 different combinations. We're slowly getting through them all. So let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments below. Thank you for bearing with me as I was trying to record this through having a chronic sore throat that has been going on for way too long now, and I cannot figure out why. So be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos, hopefully where I have more clear, cohesive words, easier to speak in the future. If you want to learn more about your moon sign, if this video resonated for you and you thought, what else do I not know about my chart? What else do I not know about me? And if you want to learn how you can set up your life, your career, your love life for success based off of this placement in your chart, then I invite you to book a reading down in the description box below, where in 30 minutes or 1 hour, we go deep into your unique energetic imprint called your astrological birth chart, and we figure out how to set up your life for optimal fulfillment based off of your talents, your struggles, your weaknesses, your traumas, your wounds, your unconscious behavior, unconscious desires, and so much more. If you want to learn about yourself and restructure your life, if you're looking for life improvement, readings are for you. Sky's the limit, simply put, with these readings. Learn more down below. And if you don't know which reading to book, there's literally a reading option called I Don't Know Reading, because that's what it's for. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name's Isabel. From my heart to yours, namaste.